Let's get into this Sunday night football slate, try to find some more winners. And it's the Tennessee Titans going to Kansas City to face Andy Reid and Mahomes off the bye on Sunday night. The Titans are 12-point underdogs. The total is around 46. And we know the freaks come out at night. So who do you expect to have a freak performance in the captain spot for Titans Chiefs?
I got to go with Travis Kelce here. And, Ryan Tannehill still hasn't practiced, so it seems like we might get another start from Malik Willis.
No, he practiced Wednesday. He didn't practice Thursday.
Oh, he didn't practice today?
Yeah.
Oh, well, either way.
So downgrade. I don't know if that
it could be shaping, just based on the spread, it does seem like, the betting market at least is expecting another Willis start. I think if Tannehill is starting, it might be closer to 10. But either way, whoever they start, it'll be a run-heavy game plan from the Titans. I don't know if you could trust anybody outside Derrick Henry, really, for the captain slot. So I'm going chalky here on the Chiefs side. And, the Chiefs, they're going to throw the ball, build a big lead. But once they get the lead, I think they'll keep throwing the ball. The Titans have a really good run defense. They rank first in DVOA. So like I said, even once the Chiefs get a lead, they could still be throwing the ball. The Titans rank 22nd in DVOA against the tight ends. Plus, the Chiefs have so many receivers. That's kind of how they replace Tyreek Hill, of just embarrassment of riches. They have like 4 or 5 viable receivers now. So I just think Kelce has the clearest path for having a captain-worthy game, especially coming off the bye. So you're going to have to go pretty chalky here with Travis Kelce.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to it. The Chiefs have so many receivers that it's kind of hard to predict on a weekly basis. So I'm going with Patrick Mahomes in a captain spot. You kind of weighed it out. The Titans are very good in run defense, number 1 in DVOA, 15th against the pass. So they're solid, but I do think off the bye, the Chiefs are going to have some things kind of schemed up with Mahomes. I think they'll come out early and have success. So, Mahomes, it could be to anybody, like you said. So, and this is a spot where I think a lot of people are going to go Derrick Henry. Obviously, nothing wrong with that, but it is a road game with a 12-point spread. There is a chance that he doesn't get quite as much usage as he's been able to get in this 5-game winning streak that they've been on. Yep. So this is kind of you could go with Mahomes in the captain spot. Maybe you fade Henry and go with Hilliard or somebody like that instead. So that's kind of the way I'm going to play it here. But who do you like as dart throws?
Well, you already stole my thunder. I mean, on the Titan side, obviously I'm going with Dontrell Hilliard. I mentioned him on our projections pod earlier this week, but this could be an ideal game script for Hilliard, no matter who's under center, really. But like you said, the Titans have won 5 straight, so we haven't seen the trailing game script in a while. But still, Hilliard, he's managed to post, 4 more receptions in 2 of those 5 wins. And the only time we've seen the Titans lose and Hilliard being active was week 1, when he caught 2 touchdowns against the Giants. So, and he also saw 8 carries for 83 yards last week. Granted, that was against the Texans, but even if it's an extreme run-heavy game plan, they have to give Henry a breather every once in a while. So either way, Hilliard's in the mix here. So I got to go with him on the Titans side. And then on the Chiefs side, I got to be chalky here. Kadarius Toney. I bet he's going to be pretty popular. But, life's too short not to have some fun here and root for Kadarius Toney in his Chiefs debut. He's off the injury report, so I guess both hamstrings are good to go. They're coming off a bye week, so Andy Reid has had ample time to think of, ways to use his new weapon in Toney. So this should be a blowout. Could be a great spot for them to get him some work, especially towards the end of the game. He could see design, screen passes or even design runs. I think they want to just get the ball in his hands when he is on the field. Granted, he might not play that much, but when he is on the field, I'm expecting them to give him the ball. Maybe even around the goal line. You talk about how the Chiefs come up with some crazy stuff around the goal line. Maybe they have something in mind for Toney there, but he's too exciting to pass up here.
Yeah, what I'm hearing with Toney is actually they're going to install him at punt returner. So that is actually going to be his first role, because Reid was like, we have a pretty crazy playbook. I don't expect him to pick it all up. Obviously. Some people are even talking about it might be next year before he's fully unleashed. But at the same time, I do agree. I think this is a game script where, you could get the back, they're going to have 6 receivers active, most likely. You could get all 3 of the backup receivers in the game. earlier than usual. And, Tony, getting punt return reps, I think is, it's on a showdown slate, especially you could stack him with the defense, do different things. So I think he's he's a good play. I'm going with, I have a few guys. So Chigo Okonkwo for the Titans. He is their rookie tight end, and predictably coming out of the bye, we talk about it a lot. That's how he hit with Samari Toure I think it was last week. But coming off the bye, these rookies tend to see an uptick. And the 2 games since the bye, Okonkwo season high in snaps in both games. He's averaging 25.5 snaps and a 44% snap rate. Last week, they didn't pass much, but had a season high in route participation at 50%. He was just missed on a long gain by Dontrell Willis. So, Dontrell Willis. Man, that's the old Marlins.
Old school. Right?
Yeah.
Marlins, Tigers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big boy. Yeah. No, Malik Willis. But, as even if it is Willis, this is a game where they're most likely going to have to pass more than they did against the Texans. So I do think he's going to get opportunities. Kansas City's 8.5 schedule adjusted targets per game to the tight end, allowed to the tight end position, second most in the league, according to Football Outsiders. And Okonkwo already has a rush attempt. A quarter of his targets this year have been in the red zone, and the Chiefs are allowing the 4th most touchdowns to opposing tight ends receiving. So I like the matchup for him, and I think he's going to get more opportunities. Maybe even late in the game, he might be that guy over Hooper, when they're just throwing a ball around. Another guy is Sky Moore, and I think he's going to be sneaky because, as I meant, you kind of talked about Kadarius Toney probably is going to be chalky, but and Moore is probably going to lose his punt return duties to Kadarius Toney, but that allows him to focus more on receiver, where I ultimately think he's better suited. He ran a season high 30% of routes in the last game, and now they're coming off the bye. So, everyone's kind of thinking about Toney. Wouldn't surprise me to see Andy Reid scheme up, his other guy that they liked in Sky Moore and get him some opportunities, especially, he had a rough game that last game heading into the bye. He dropped the ball. So, they like to kind of show trust and get these guys confidence back. That's what the Bills did for Isaiah McKenzie. He had that rough game going into the bye, and then they kind of made sure he got a touchdown, in that first game out. And I think you could see the same thing with Sky Moore, whose route participation over the last 4 weeks, even heading into the bye, was 28% compared to under 10% in the first 3 weeks. So he'd already been trending up. And one guy I'll mention too, just because this could be, again, a game where it just looks nothing like the last 5 for Tennessee, is Cody Hollister. He's right now their 3rd wide receiver because Kyle Phillips, IR, Treylon Burks, IR. So both of their rookies are out. Now, they did sign Chris Conley last week, and he played a few snaps, but Hollister had a season-high 57% route participation rate. And, Conley, yes, it's a revenge game against the Chiefs, but I just don't think Conley's been around the team long enough to overtake Hollister just yet. And because the quarterbacks have been kind of a revolving door, I just don't think he's going to have the reps to really be. I think, he'll be the 4th wide receiver and be active, but I do think Hollister, who's been here for a number of years, and on the practice squad, on the active roster, I think he'll get that wide receiver 3 role. So if Kansas City's leading by a couple scores in the 4th quarter, Tennessee might have to go, 3 wide, throw it around the yard for the entire 4th quarter. You could see Hollister catch a few balls against a prevent defense, kind of like Samari Toure did in that game against the Bills. So I thought I'd mention him. He's not talented, not very talented, more of a special teams guy. But again, we're just talking about some catches against the prevent. Maybe he gets a touchdown or something.
Yeah, I love that Okonkwo call, and I got super excited when I saw that he had as many routes as Austin Hooper and Jeff Swim combined. Thank God, those guys are boring as hell.
Like 2-1?
But then you kind of alluded to it. Yeah, it was a small sample size. I think Willis only dropped back like 13 times, so it could be just noise. But either way, I hope we see more playing time going forward, because he's a talented, he's a 4th round pick, granted, but so is Isaiah Likely. But he looked really good in preseason. He's got skills. He's a little bit older. I think he's like 23, so he's ready to go. So yeah, this is a perfect time to kind of invest in him.
Yeah, and like yes, the route participation is a small sample, but the snaps themselves, like the literal volume of snaps and overall snap rate have been going up. So, Jeff Swaim's really been the guy who has taken a little bit more of a back seat because they also signed this guy Kevin Rader, who was formerly on the Steelers, and he's been, they've been using him in some blocking sets. So Jeff Swaim's kind of getting squeezed from all angles here at the tight end position for the Titans. But we do have some fullbacks on this slate. Michael Burton for the Chiefs, and I think Torrey Carter is gonna miss the game. I think he has a neck injury, so I don't know if he's gonna play. But Burton could get a carry or two, right? Short yardage.
Yeah, I would consider him a below average fullback for these slates. But again, Andy Reid gets crazy around the goal line, so all of these guys, Jody Fortston,
Noah Gray,
Michael Burton, all those guys have the potential, at least, for a 1-yard touchdown. That's what we're looking for here.
Yeah. And what about with the luck rankings for this matchup? What's it looking like?
Yeah, so Tennessee ranks first. They are the luckiest team. The Giants fell to number 2. But yeah, the Titans have won 5 in a row. 4 of those, I believe, have been 1-score games. We saw this last year. They were kind of a fraudulent number 1 seed, in my opinion. So this probably has a lot to do with Mike Vrabel just being a good coach, and being able to win close games. That is an aspect of it. But either way, they have been very lucky. And the Chiefs are 10th. So closer to the middle of the pack. We kind of know who the Chiefs are at this point, but I don't think the market's fooled. I think the market realizes the Chiefs are the much better team here. So we're not really, and this is a luck ranking differential of only 9, so it doesn't meet our threshold of 10. So this isn't a luck rankings play by any stretch of the imagination, but the Titans do top the rankings right now.
Yeah, I think it just kind of points to kind of what we've been talking about, where we might see a few more pass attempts and dropbacks from the Titans this week than we've seen just because of the game script.
Yeah.